The power of forgiveness. In the heart of the village, there stood a quaint little bakery owned by a man named Jareth. He was known for his delicious pastries and warm smile, but beneath his cheerful exterior, Jareth carried a heavy burden. Many years ago, he had a falling out with his childhood friend, Ethan. The rift between them had grown into a chasm, filled with resentment and unspoken words. One crisp autumn morning, as Jareth prepared for the day's work, he received a letter. The envelope was worn and the handwriting familiar. It was from Ethan. Jareth hesitated before opening it, his heart pounding in his chest. Inside, the letter was simple and heartfelt, filled with apologies and a plea for reconciliation. Jareth's mind raced with memories of their friendship adventures in the forest, shared dreams and laughter. But alongside these memories were the sharp edges of their argument, the words that had cut deep and left scars. He didn't know if he could forgive Ethan or even if he wanted to. Later that day, Alora visited the bakery. She often stopped by to chat with Jareth and buy her favorite croissants. She noticed his somber mood and asked, "Is everything all right, Jareth?" Jareth sighed, handing her the letter. "It's from Ethan. He's asking for forgiveness." Alora read the letter, then looked at Jareth with compassion. "Forgiveness can be a powerful act, Jareth. It's not just for Ethan, it's for you too. Holding on to resentment only weighs you down." Jareth frowned. "But how can I forgive him after all these years? The hurt feels as fresh as the day it happened." Alora placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Forgiveness is a process. It's not about forgetting what happened, but about freeing yourself from the pain it caused. It allows you to heal and move forward." That evening, Jareth couldn't stop thinking about Alora's words. He sat by the fire, the letter in his hands, and reflected on his life. The anger and resentment he held onto had shaped many of his choices, limiting his joy and peace. Deep down, he knew that forgiving Ethan was the only way to truly heal. The next day, Jareth decided to visit Amara, the village healer. He knew that her wisdom and guidance could help him navigate his emotions. Amara welcomed him with a warm smile and a pot of herbal tea. "I can see that you're troubled, Jareth," Amara said, pouring the tea. "Tell me what's on your mind." Jareth shared the story of his friendship with Ethan, their falling out, and the letter he had received. Amara listened attentively, her eyes filled with understanding. "Forgiveness is indeed a powerful act," Amara said, handing Jareth a steaming cup of tea. "It requires courage and a willingness to let go of the past, but it also opens the door to healing and peace." Jareth sipped the tea, its warmth spreading through him. "How do I begin to forgive, Amara? The pain feels so ingrained." Amara nodded. "Start by acknowledging your feelings. Allow yourself to feel the hurt, the anger, and the sadness. Then understand that holding on to these emotions only harms you. Forgiveness is about releasing this burden." Jareth spent the next few weeks reflecting on Amara's advice. He wrote in his journal, pouring out his emotions and memories. He meditated in the forest, seeking moments of clarity and peace. Gradually, he felt the weight of his resentment begin to lift. One day, Jareth decided it was time to meet Ethan. He sent a letter inviting him to the village. When the day came, Jareth felt a mix of anxiety and hope. He waited at the edge of the village, watching as Ethan approached. Ethan looked older, his face lined with regret and hope. They stood in silence for a moment before Jareth spoke. "Ethan, thank you for coming." Ethan nodded, his eyes filled with emotion. "Jareth, I'm truly sorry for the pain I've caused. I've regretted our argument every day. Jareth took a deep breath, feeling the tightness in his chest ease. I appreciate your apology, Ethan. I've been carrying this burden for too long. It's time to let it go. They talked for hours, sharing their experiences and memories. By the end of the day, Jareth felt a sense of peace he hadn't known in years. The act of forgiving Ethan had not only mended their friendship, but had also healed a part of his soul. Alora visited the bakery the next morning, noticing the lightness in Jareth's demeanor. You seem different today, Jareth, happier. Jareth smiled, handing her a fresh croissant. I forgave Ethan, and in doing so, I forgave myself. Thank you for your advice, Alora. Forgiveness had transformed Jareth's life, allowing him to release the pain of the past and embrace the present with an open heart. His story reminds us that forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, a path to healing, peace, and freedom.